Hi, I'm Andy, and this is my latest update on the best savings accounts for you and your money in December 2020. I do this both on my YouTube channel and on the Cash Chats podcast as a little bonus episode. So if you listen to one of those or watch one of those, maybe this is a good opportunity to see what things are like on the other ones. It'd be great just to check them out and let me know what you think. Now, you might think, hang on, haven't you just done a savings update? And I did do one 3 weeks ago. So I'm actually bringing this forward a week earlier than I normally would for that monthly update. Should be doing credit cards, the best credit cards, deals and promotions this week. But actually, I wanted to switch it around because so much has happened in the last 7 to 10 days concerning savings accounts that I think it's really important that we talk about this right now rather than leave it yet another week. So forgive me if you were hoping for a credit cards roundup. Don't worry, that will be next week. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm just going to take you through the best accounts for you. And as I do that, and I do this every time I do one of these roundups, I'll give you a little bit of an update of what's been going on, some of the wider things that have been happening. Headlines for you essentially are the end of a couple of big accounts people have had their money in, NS&I and TSB, some big cuts to regular savers. And also some news, I sort of hinted at last time I did this update, I told you about this account coming soon from Chip, a 1.25% paying savings account. Got a lot more information about that now. And this is more information again. I did a review on the website and on YouTube looking into detail at this. 2 days after they released the product and I did that review, they changed it slightly. So I've got an update for the people who already know about that account, but also if you don't know anything about it, some information as well, which is potentially a good place for your savings. But we'll get to that in a second. Now, one of the big things that has been happening this year, more than any years, in the last month, more than any other month, is rates changing very, very, very frequently. In fact, on a daily basis, we are seeing the best easy access and the best fixed savings accounts. The rates on them drop. Accounts disappear. The next best buy is being a lot lower. It's happening all the time. So you want to make sure, after listening to this or watching this, you want to make sure you head over to becleverwithyourcash.com and read my regularly updated article of the best savings account. So I'm going to go through it now. That's what I'm going to kind of use as the basis of this little bonus roundup. But things change and I update that on a daily, if not more frequently than daily basis most of the time. I will link to that below as well so you can click straight through. But let's start off with the highest rate, so to speak. And that is still with a regular saver, and that is a regular saver with NatWest or RBS. Now, this is a digital saver, and it pays 3.04%. That is the highest rate you will get. It's still the best one. It has been for a few months now. Caveats, it's a monthly saver, a regular saver, which means you can only put a certain amount of money into it every month. And this one is just 50 quid. It's one of the smallest ones out there. But still, if you've got a NatWest or RBS account, because you can only get it if you've got one of those accounts, then you want to put 50 quid aside every month, you may as well give it a go. Now, the interest is capped at £1,000 as well. So once you earn £1,000, any money after that, you can keep saving, but you won't earn any interest on that. But it's worth giving it a go. That is not only just still the best account, but sadly that is head and shoulders above all the other regular savers now, because we have seen last month I told you that the M&S regular saver offering 2.75% had gone to 1%. Rumours that the same thing would happen to the HSBC and First Direct regular savers, which paid 2.75%. And that happened. End of November, they both dropped to 1%. Now, important thing to mention here, because I've had a few questions about this. If you already have one of these regular savers, in fact, you already have any regular saver with a fixed rate, you are getting that locked in for 12 months. So let's say you opened it in June 2020, you will keep getting it for your 12 payments. So June 2021, that's when that account closes, but you will still get that 2.75% for that entire year. Now, when it does end, or if you're a new customer now looking to open one up, then you won't be able to get that higher rate. Then you are looking at a lower rate. And with those accounts, it's down to 1%, which isn't great. But anyway, the best one for a small amount of money is the that NatWest RBS for 50 quid. If you want to put a little bit more money aside every month, if that's how you're saving, rather than having a lump sum, you want to move it across, then the best one actually is with Lloyds. And in fact, the only way to get it is to write a Club Lloyds current account. If you have a Club Lloyds current account, you get access to this regular saver offering 1.5%. That is the best option out there for a decent chunk of cash. I think you can put £400 every month into there. So your pay comes in, you want to put 400 quid away. There's not really anywhere better that you can do that on a monthly basis throughout the whole year. Again, that is fixed for that 12 months. And I'm not saying that rate is going to disappear anytime soon, but the fact that the others have could be that one does go. So if you've got a Lloyds account, a Club Lloyds account, I should say, it's well worth opening up one of those. Incidentally, while we're talking about the Club Lloyds account, if you have that main one as well and you have 2 direct debits coming out of it, you can earn interest on up to £5,000 in there. Now it works out that I think it's 0.6 on the first 4 grand, which doesn't sound like much, but as we'll get to in a minute, we'll see actually that's level with the best easy access account right now. And then for the next grand, between 4 grand and 5 grand, if you have that as well, you get 1.5%. What that essentially means is if you do have 5 grand in there, you're getting 0.78% average interest. And it's worth considering right now, if you've got a Club Lloyd's account and you've got 5 grand spare, consider opening, consider keeping money in there rather than just using it for whatever else you use it for. However, that is not the best current account for your savings. Still, as I said before, the 2 best ones are the Nationwide Flex Direct, giving you a fixed 2% for 12 months. As long as you've not had that account before, you can earn that interest on 1.5 grand. And after that, the Virgin Money current account will give you 2.02%. So it's slightly more, like a smidge more interest, but only on £1,000 that's saved in there. And that rate is variable. So I would go for the Nationwide one before the Virgin one. The big bonus though right now of that Virgin account is they are giving a switch bonus. None of the other banks are really offering this right now. So if you switch from an existing current account into the Virgin account, you'll get £180 worth of Virgin wine. If you're not a drinker, there is a non-alcoholic option, but it's not as great, valued about 80 quid. And if you're not a drinker, you might not want non-alcoholic wine. But that is something to consider. Switch over from your account that you're using right now. Perfect thing to do if you have got a TSB Classic Plus account, because as of last week, that now gives you 0 interest. If you've got one of those accounts, you want to get rid of it. You want to move the money that you've got in there to a better savings account, and that current account as well is not a good current account. You want a better one of those. I've got more information. I've written about this on the blog, and I will link to it as well, so you can read some of the different options available to you. But that Virgin Money one feels like a good idea. Switch over, you get the free wine, and the money, or at least most of that money, is still going to be earning interest. So have a think about that. They're the best 2 current accounts. After that, again, I think that Lloyd's one is probably not too bad an option because you get access to that regular saver. So where do you go after that? Well, this is where that chip account that I mentioned comes into play. Now, I have got a full review on the blog and a video review as well. And I released this on the 1st of December, the day that the account was made open to everyone. People could then suddenly get that account. It'd been around for a little bit before that for investors of chip. A few people had it with early access, but generally it's open to everyone 1st of December. So I was told about that. I was given some information. Being a journalist, I research that. I find things I'm not sure about. I ask questions of chip. They give me that information and get that all in play before I evaluate what I think of it, get my thoughts on it, and write it up and record that video. So it's the 1st of December. 2 days later, and I was fuming about this, 2 days later, Chip made some changes to how it worked, which is just ridiculous. I think basically what's happened is there's different parts of the business doing different things, and they weren't talking to each other. And basically it's a complete mess up. And what it means is, although I can update my written review, and I've done that to sort of how effective these changes are, my video review now has some information which is not quite right. So I was fuming about this. It was incompetence on their part, really, really angry about it. So fundamentally, I think if you want to find out more information about it, watch that video or read that article. But the main difference, the main change here is that whereas previously you could earn that 1.25% interest on up to 5 grand and use a few tricks to avoid Chip's monthly fee, you now can't avoid that monthly fee. So if you want to put 5 grand into that Chip Plus One account and you want to earn that 1.25%, you're going to have to pay a £1.50 fee every single month. So that's £18 a year. That obviously knocks off the interest that you're earning, the money that you're earning, and reduces it. Now, there is an alternative. They have also released something called it's a chip free. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but a free account which doesn't charge you that fee, but you can only earn the interest on that 2 grand. So 1.25% is better than you're going to see in lots of places right now. It's not a bad option for your money, but you've got to bear in mind that if you want to get it with no fee at all, you can only save 2 grand in there. If you've got anywhere between 2 grand and 3.5 grand, it's not worth paying that £1.50 a month because that fee eats up the additional interest you would get. You may as well just have that 2 grand in the free account and put your other money somewhere else, earning a little bit less, but still earning some money. However, if you have between 3.5 and 5 grand, then you're still going to be getting, at the moment, a better rate, an average rate, although it won't be that full 1.25%. It does sort of pull down that average. You will be getting a higher rate on average than you will anywhere else, other than those sort of 2 Virgin and nationwide accounts that I mentioned. So it's a little bit more complicated, but I wanted to make sure it's clear that if you've seen that previous video or read the article before I updated it, that you need to know that is what has happened. I think it's ridiculous on their part. There are also lots of different caveats, so do check out the video or the review to find out what those are. Things like you don't earn compound interest. To get the interest, you have to withdraw the initial deposit out before you can withdraw that money. Lots of things like that. You might think it's not worth it, okay? But if you want to spread your money around, you want to chase those best rates as much as you can, then absolutely do check out that information. And you also need to go to those to get the special VIP invite code. You can't just open the account. You need to have a special invite code, either from a friend who's got chip or the one that I've got available to you. After that, rates are really poor. The worst that I've probably ever seen them as long as I've been doing this in the last sort of 7-8 years. A 1-year fix will pay you. This is the best one. This is at Habib Bank Zurich, which is, so it's not an interest you're getting, you'll get a estimated return. This is a Sharia compliant bank at 0.85% on a 1-year fix, which is not good at all. The best easy access savings account means you can get hold of your money whenever you want, 0.6%. So like I said, those rates that I've been telling you about so far, those 2% in the current accounts, that 0.78% was it that you would get the equivalent in Lloyd's, the Club Lloyd's account, that 1.25% of chip. They're all a lot more attractive than these other accounts right now. And the thing is, every day one of these accounts disappears. I wouldn't be surprised if those rates drop again next week to a different suppliers offering a similar or lower rate. I can't see them getting much higher anytime soon. It's not a great place to be. In terms of ethical savings, that Nationwide Flex Direct tops the bill again. Nationwide scores very, very well in terms of financial organization does well with your money. Sharia compliant banks also score very well ethically. So you're looking again at that 1-year fix with Habib Bank Zurich if you want to make sure your money is sitting somewhere and it's not being used for tobacco or fuel, carbon, fossil fuels or things like that, arms trades. They're important things to consider. Now, one last thing I want to leave you with though on this. So say the rates have been dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And if you continue sort of chasing these rates, yes, you'll be getting the best rate you can, but we are talking at minimal benefit. The difference between 0.6% on a grand and 0.5% on a grand, is it worth it? Should you really be having to moving your money from this account to that account just to get that a little bit extra? I think probably not. So I think if you've taken advantage of some of those current accounts, those regular savers, maybe again looking at that the Club Lloyd's and looking at the chip, so you've got a decent sum of money earning an all right amount of cash, but you've still got cash that you want access to in the short term, then one thing you could look at are premium bonds. Now, the episode of Cash Chats last week, episode 152, I looked in detail at exactly how they work and when they are good for people and their money. Essentially, right now, if you've got around 10K plus, then the chances of you winning, and again, you might not win, but the chances of you winning are generally, the amount you might get is more favorable than what you'd get if the cash was in the equivalent easy access savings right now. So I personally think I'm probably going to do this with the money that I've got out of my TSBs that are closing, my NS&I that's closed. I'm going to look at maybe getting myself some premium bonds and just seeing what happens, because there's such little return elsewhere. But that's up to you. If you want to make sure you are getting at least matching inflation, then you want to ideally go for the highest interest rate that you possibly can. But again, there's no guarantee that's not going to continue to fall. Now, if you want more information about any of this, as I said, do head over to the blog becleverwithyourcash.com, or just go to that link, that article where I list all these different accounts. That will be linked to below. Now, if you found this video useful, if I've helped you save or make some money, then please do hit that like button and leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on with you and your savings right now. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. It means you won't miss any of the future videos that I release to help you make money, save money, or better manage your money. Until next time, cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.